Hello students, in the last lecture we have seen Coulomb's law and we have derived equation for the force exerted on one charge by another charge. Coulomb's law for multiple charges. Coulomb's law can be applied for multiple charges if they are present in free space. If more than two charges are present, then we can apply principle of superposition to determine the resultant force on a particular charge. For example, in the following diagram, there are multiple charges Q, Q1, Q2 and Qn. If there are n charges Q1, Q2, so up to n located at point R1, R2, Rn, that is positional vectors, then the resultant force F on the charge Q located at point R is vector sum of all the forces exerted on Q by each charges Q1, Q2, so up to Qn. In the equation form, it is given by F bar is equal to force exerted by Q1 on Q plus force exerted by Q2 on Q plus force exerted by Qn on Q, where R minus R1 is positional vector which is known as capital R1 as shown in the previous diagram. R minus R2 is position vector which is capital R2 shown in the previous diagram, and so on. So this R minus R1 is nothing but capital R1 bar, and this is its magnitude. So this total part is nothing but unit vector AR1. This part is nothing but unit vector AR2. This part is nothing but unit vector of ARN. So if we sum all the individual forces together, then we'll get total force F bar. In general, the same equation can be written as F is equal to, or F bar is equal to Q, because Q is common everywhere. So Q, that is the main charge, divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught summation K goes from 1 to n Qk R minus Rk divided by R minus Rk bracket raised to 3, because this square and this one more R minus Rk is equal, that will become equal to raised to 3. So this is the general equation for Coulomb's law of multiple charges. For example, suppose there are three charges Q1, Q2 and Q3, and we want to find out the force on Q2 due to Q1 and Q3. Then we'll individually write the equations for these two vector quantities. So F12 is force exerted on Q2 by Q1, and this is its positional vector R12. Similarly, F32 is force exerted on Q2 by charge Q3. So both these forces can be separately written as F12 is equal to Q1 multiplied by Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square into A cap R12, and F32 is equal to Q3 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R32 square into A cap R32. Then total force on Q2 is given by F total is equal to F12 plus F32. That is the vector sum of both these forces. Let us solve one example based on multiple point charges. So see here in this example there are 4 point charges placed in free space at corners of a square whose side is 10 centimeters. Find the force experienced by 1 microcoulomb charge. Now see in the figure, there are 4 point charges. 1 microcoulomb is Q1, Q2 is minus 4 microcoulomb, Q3 is 4 microcoulomb, and Q4 is minus 8 root 2 microcoulomb. These are placed at the corners of a square. So we can place this square in XYZ coordinate system. You can either place this in XY plane or you can place it in any plane. So let us consider that this square is placed in ZY plane. Now as they have given that the side is 10 centimeters, so we mark the side as 10 centimeters. So each distance from Q1 to Q2, Q2 to Q4 or Q2 to Q3 are 10 centimeters. So by knowing this, we can find out the coordinates of each charge. Coordinates of each charge. So let us solve this example on whiteboard. So first we'll draw the Cartesian system and place the square. So here it is the Cartesian system, x, y and z. The square is placed in yz place. We can place it in any plane, but right now I am placing it in yz plane. So the square has a side of 10 centimeters. Each side is having 10 centimeter distance, and charge q1 is placed here, charge q2 is here, q4 is here and q3 is here. q1 is 1 microcoulomb, q2 is minus 4 microcoulomb, q4 is minus 8 root 2 microcoulomb and q3 is 4 microcoulomb. So in example they have asked to find force experienced by q1 because of all other charges. So for this we have to join the distance vector towards q1. So from q3 to q1, this is the distance vector in this direction. From q2 to q1, the distance vector will be in this direction, and from q4 to q1 we can join this directly by a line joining q4 and q1. Now we have to find the distance vectors. Let us name these distance vectors as, let us name this distance vector from q2 to q1 as r21 bar, then from q3 to q1 is r31 bar, and from q4 to q1 it is r41 bar. Okay, then what is the equation? What is the total force? F total is equal to force due to charge 2 on charge 1 plus force due to charge 3 on charge 1 plus force due to charge 4 on charge 1. So for these each individual forces we have to find out the distance vectors, their unit vectors, and then we'll put everything on the equation. Each force is given by one charge multiplied by other charge divided by, for example, for 2-1 we can write the equation like this. F21 can be written as q1 q2 4 pi epsilon naught r21 square, magnitude of the r21, and unit vector r21 cap. So similarly we can find individual forces of F31 and F41. So let us find out first the distance vectors. So in the next page let us find out the distance vector. R21 vector is equal to, we should subtract coordinates of q2 from q1 because we are going towards q1. So what are the coordinates of q1? Coordinates of q1 are 0 0 0. Okay, coordinates of q2 are x is 0, y is 10 centimeter, that is equal to 0.1 meter, and z is 0. Coordinates of q3 are, what are the coordinates of q3? X is 0, y is 0 and z is 0.1. And what are the coordinates of q4? X is 0, y is 0.1 and z is also 0.1. So after knowing the coordinates we can subtract each and every coordinate and find out this distance vector. So for r21 we are going towards 1, so subtract coordinates of 0.2 from 1. So R21 is 0, 0, 0 minus 0.1, 0.1 comma 0. So what is the vector now? 0 minus 0 ax cap plus 0 minus 0.1 ay cap plus 0 minus 0 az cap. So that is equal to 0x means 0. So it will only become equal to 0.1 ay cap. Other two unit vectors are 0. Now let us find out directly its magnitude also. So it is square root of 0.1 square, and that is equal to 0.1. Similarly, R31 is equal to, what is Q1? Q1 is at 0, 0, 0 minus coordinates of 0.3, because from 3 we are going towards 1. So always we have to subtract the coordinates of other point from 1. So Q3 is at 0, y is also 0, and z is 0.1. So it will become equal to, similar to above equation, it will become equal to minus 0.1. X and y both are 0, so it will be only az cap, and the magnitude of R31 is, mod of this is equal to 0.1 square root, that is equal to 0.1. Many times we can do the mistake at this point, finding the square root of or the magnitude of the vector. Now next is to finding the last vector, that is R41, that is equal to again 0, 0, 0 minus 0 comma the y coordinate is 0.1 and z coordinate is also 0.1. So it will become minus 0 minus 0 ax, 0 minus 0.1 ay, so minus 0.1 ay cap minus 0.1 az cap. Now this magnitude is somewhat different. See here, the magnitude of R41 is square root of 0.1 square plus 0.1 square, and that is equal to 0.1 square, so 0.01 plus 0.01, so it is 0.02, square root of 0.02. We can keep it as it is. Now we can find out individual forces and then add, or we can find out total equation. So F total is equal to F21 plus F31 plus F41. So for this we require F21 is Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R21 square, magnitude of R21, and A cap R21, right. So what is A cap R21? It is the vector R21 divided by its magnitude. So we can just rub this and we can directly write it, or we can separately find out A cap R21 also. So A cap R21 is vector R21 divided by magnitude of R21 again, right. So this will keep into one bracket plus F31 is Q1 Q3 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R31 square into vector R31 divided by magnitude of R31 plus the next vector is R41. So similarly we can write for R41 and we will find out the F total. So next, so we will put all the values in the equation. So F total is equal to, now Q1 is common in everywhere, so Q1 will take outside. 4 pi epsilon naught is also common. Then inside the bracket there will be vector R21 and magnitude square is there and one more magnitude is there. So total it will become R21 cube, magnitude of R21 cube, mod of R21 cube. So plus into the charge. So here it is Q2, here it is q3 and the next was q4. So it is r31 vector divided by r31 raised to 3 divided by r41 and r41 raised to 3. Okay, then we will find out what is the values of all the charges. Q1 is I think 1 microcoulomb. So Q1 is 1 into 10 raised to minus 9 divided by 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 9 upon 36 pi. So 10 raised to minus 9 upon 36 pi is the value of epsilon naught. And then all other terms, Q2 is what? Q2 is equal to minus 4 microcoulomb. So it is minus 4. Sorry, Q1 was also 1 microcoulomb. So it should be minus 6. So it is minus 6 here divided by magnitude of R21. So magnitude of R21 was 0.1, and if I have to square this, then we can find out the unit vector of R21 is the vector R21 is what was the vector R21? It is 0.1 minus 0.1 ay cap. So we'll put it here, minus 0.1 ay cap divided by its magnitude, that was the unit vector. So it is 0.1 here, right? So similarly we can add all other quantities also. Q3 was I think it is 4 microcoulomb. So 4 into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by the magnitude of R31 was what is the magnitude of R31? It is 0.1. So it is 0.1 square into a cap R31 or R31 divided by magnitude of R31. So what is R31? It is my 0.1 az cap, I think, right? What is R31? Vector R31 minus point az cap. So we'll put it here and divided by the magnitude, again it is 0.1, plus Q4 is 8 minus 8 root 2 into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by R41. What is magnitude of R41? What is magnitude of R41? It is 0.02. So square root of 0.02, right? Its square, or we can directly write raised to 3, and here only we have to write 0.1 minus 0.1 ay cap and minus 0.1 az cap. Either we can multiply the square of magnitude into by another magnitude of that quantity, or we can write raised to 3 like this. So next, after solving this all the things, we get the vector like f bar is equal to, you can check it, 9 into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to minus 6 in bracket 400 ay cap minus 400 az cap plus 400 ay cap plus 400 az cap, right? So after solving this, anything is getting cancelled, az can be cancelled. So it is 400 ay cap into 9 into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to minus 6. So total it will become 7.2 ay cap newtons. So this is the vector of force. We can find out magnitude of this vector force which is equal to square root of 7.2 bracket square, because there is only one coordinate for ay cap. So it is again equal to 7.2 Newton. This is only the magnitude, and this the above equation is the unit vector, the whole vector of force. The next parameter of electrostatics is electric field. So an electric field is a region in which an electric charge experiences a force. For example, suppose we have an point charge placed like this, then it will have its field surrounding its charge, this charge. So there is a field surrounding this charge. So this whole region is called as electric field. If we brought another charge in this region, then this another charge may experience a force. So all such regions where another charge experiences a force is called as electric field. So an electric field can be illustrated. So these lines which we have seen here are called as field lines. These lines indicate the direction and the region of this field. The arrowhead indicates the direction of the electric field. So the direction of the field is the direction of the force that would act on a small positive charge if it is present in this region. So the field lines indicate the direction of the electric field. These lines can be shown like this, as seen in this white figure. The field vectors plotted within a regular grid of 2D space surrounding a point charge shows the field lines or the electric field region. For example, if I have a positive charge at the center and some other negative charges, other positive charges are surrounding this central positive charge, then these other charges will experience force, and the electric field lines are shown in the second figure like this. They are going outwards. Here the main charge and surrounding test charges both are positive. So there is a force of repulsion and the field lines are going away from the main charge shown in the second figure. Similarly, if you have small negative charge at the center and all other positive test charges are present around the negative charge, then there is a force of attraction between this positive charge and the central negative charge. So field lines will go towards the central negative charge. This means the field lines are terminated at negative point charge, or the field lines for a pair of opposite charges are shown in the second figure. If two opposite charges are present like this, then field lines will diverge from positive charge and they are collected at the negative charge. So the direction of electric field is like this. This type of direction we are going to see when we see the electric dipole. The strength of the electric field is also indicated by how close the field lines are placed to one another. For example, if I see this charge Q, then in this region the field lines are very close to each other, but at this outer side the field lines are going away from each other. So the electric field is stronger in this region, but it is weaker in this region. So this means the conclusion is that if I place another charge very close to Q, then it will experience more force. If another charge is placed far away from the Q, then it will experience very less force. The next parameter and very important parameter of the electrostatics is electric field intensity, which is indicated by E bar. Suppose 2 point charges Q1 and Q2 are placed near each other. Now Q1 has its own electric field surrounding it as shown in figure. Second charge Q2, which is present near Q1, will experience a force according to Coulomb's law. So we have to calculate the force vector that would act on Q2 at every point in space. So in this direction there will be force on Q2. What is the intensity of this charge Q1 at point Q2? That is nothing but electric field intensity generated by charge Q1. The electric field strength or intensity is defined as the strength or intensity at the point in electric field is the force per unit positive charge acting on a vanishingly small positive test charge placed at that point. So in this case, Q2 is vanishingly small point charge. So Q2 is called as test charge. It is placed in the electric field of charge Q1. So Q2 is experiencing a force. So that force divided by this charge Q2 is nothing but electric field intensity at this point due to Q1. So electric field is a vector quantity because it is having direction similar to force. So whose magnitude and direction are uniquely determined at every point in the field. Thus, the electric field intensity is given by, in equation form, it is equal to E1 divided equal to F12 divided by Q2, where F12 is force at charge Q2 because of charge Q1, but charge Q2 is only a test charge at point P. But we know that F12 is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square into A cap R12. Therefore, E1 becomes, if I put the value of F12 in equation 1, then E1 becomes Q1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square into A cap R12. So, in general, the electric field intensity is given by E is equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR cap, where R is the distance between point P and charge Q, and AR cap is unit vector in the direction of point P. Vector E bar, that is in electric field intensity, is measured in volts per meter.